One. Perfect timing on the grind. Hey Oliver, there's something on the screen here. Does that matter? That doesn't matter, does it?
No, I just didn't want all my mess on there.
I just used the down arrow?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Dad whistle.
Hey everybody. Sorry, Joy, I just did a dad whistle. Blew out her eardrums. All right. Wow, what a great day. This is a special day. We have exciting news for today. Hi to staff that aren't here and will be watching this on video. Everybody say hi to people on video. Hey, everybody. All right, so this is sort of only for staff, so this isn't going anywhere. But today's a reveal day. Today's the day when we announce the brand, the new name, and show you the logos, give you some different pictures so that you can kind of see what we're thinking. And so I want to take you back to the branding development process that we've been walking through. And remember that this is like a brand is like a cup. What's most important with your brand is not the cup, but what you put into it, right? The significance of our brand is that it holds the ministry well. That's the idea. Does that make sense? So once I'm done drinking my ice water, I'm just going to throw out this cup. Actually, I'll put it in the compost because I care about society. But I just want to remind you of that. What we're talking about, what we'll be describing is the cup. And so that is what holds all the good things that God is doing in and through his church, okay? So the cup doesn't say everything. Hopefully the cup shows you a little bit of what's inside. But what's inside is what really matters. And of course, this cup can't say everything about what I'm drinking. It can't say what it smells like, what it tastes like. It just says a little bit about what it looks like. And so that's really what we're doing here when we talk about the brand, is we're creating some parameters that allow us then to hold the ministries well. And so that's really important. What's in the cup is more important than the cup. The brand is the cup. What we're putting into it is what's really valuable. So this process is great, and it only speaks to something greater, okay? Is that clear? Remember Bob Knight and Nike when he first saw the chubby check mark? And he thought to himself, I don't love it, but I think it'll grow on me, right? So that's the way names work. That's the way branding works. Guys, if we've been able to leverage and wrangle glad tidings to be useful to us in 2022, I think there's a lot of new names that we'll be able to wrestle with, wrangle, and use. So any of the short list names that we gave to you before would have been great. But basically what happened in the process is a couple of names rose to the top. We used a combination of the information that you gave and what the board gave in terms of the LT, in terms of like rating, and you guys did that naming exercise with us and all of that. How many of you were a part of that process? Okay, so that's how many of you contributed. There was like, I think 36 places of input that we got. And I think that was really good. That was really, really helpful. Did Jackson leave? Yeah, I have to go picture. Oh, I was going to hug him. I hugged him on Sunday night. That was cool that he stopped by. Anyway, bye. Love you too. Oh, good. Yeah, that's good. And so what we're about to reveal has to stay in this space with you for a month. Dramatic pause. That's kind of hard, but it's really important. It's important because, I'll tell you why. Because although information is so much fun to share, and people's reaction and the dialogue that follows is interesting and makes really good conversation around the table, it actually then dilutes the impact that we're trying to make. And if you think about, the exponential possibilities of hundreds of people knowing prior to the reveal, kind of takes the steam out of it, right? And so, thank you, Jim. Well, are you ready to kill them if they share the news? I can tell you, but then I'd have to kill you, right? Sorry, guys. We've watched Top Gun 3 times in our house this week, and that line is from Top Gun. I could tell you, but then I'd have to kill you. You know that line? Anyway, the question remains. It's a fair question. I don't know what to say. I don't know that I've prepared an answer for the question, which is, can we tell our spouses? You know your spouse better than I do. So I'm looking for someone to give me direction. Marita says no. Thank you, Marita. Not recommended. Not recommended. Yes. Thanks, Jim. Jim said that was it a CIA agent or FBI guy? Who was it? FBI guy who said, if you tell one person, you've told everyone. And so there is a risk in us sharing even at this level, right? So it's a month, and you can say that you've been asked not to share. Please don't share. You've been asked not to share. So I appreciate that. What's that? Oh yeah, nice. He won't hear you. Yeah. Like, sorry, honey. What did you say something? Sorry, I didn't hear you. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So yeah, we're just gonna talk about it. So basically, a couple of names came high in. So I'll let you know what it's not. It's not some of those lower names. It's not Garden City. It's not Revive. It's not Garden City or Revive. The two that came in really high were Tides and Coastline. Those were names that came in really high, and they have a similar feel. Yeah, very oceany. I can feel warm breezes when I think of them. But I think for the bottom line, what it came down to is which one has the bandwidth to hold the whole movement, because that's what we're doing. We're looking for an umbrella that's large enough for everything, not just what we are, but what we hope to be held in it. And so our name is Coastline Church. There it is. So we have a logo, and we have branding colors. We're going to look at a lot of this stuff together, and I can't really see what's coming next, but it's going to be awesome, okay? So I just want to point out to you, take a look for a moment at the logo. The logo was designed in a live intensive session with our branding people. And it was really about getting to the heart of what the coast looks like here, right? It's not palm trees and white sandy beaches and drinks with umbrellas. It is a mixture of a deep blue sea and a very tall forest. And so I hope you're able to kind of see that in there. You see the waves coming toward the shore, and the shore is represented by the tree. And so that's become a logo for us. The fun thing about this logo is all the waves that you see down below, those waves have now become for us a canvas to play with, something to use in a variety of ways. And so I'll show you some of the ways that's going to be used. So this is our name. If we ever use Coastline Church, it looks like this. There are a few variations of it. These are two of our four primary color palette colors. It's offshore blue, peachy keen, patchy sky, which is our white, and then burnt wood, which is our sort of our dark, almost black. And so those four together make our primary colors. And so I'll just walk you through a few of these things. This is the way that it can look. You can see, it's a matter of flipping a few colors around. You can use the white, the peachy keen, the offshore blue that's there a number of different times. This is a white background sign. This will look a lot like our monument sign out front. It will have kind of this feel to it. You can also use Coastline Church this way. So this is where we start getting into branding. The reason why this is important is because we are going to mandate certain usage of the letters and the words and the colors, and it's going to have to be used everywhere. This name is what is known as our word mark. So this shape is here in the tree. It's also here in the T, in the L, in the I, in the N. It's in the S, it's in the A, it's in the C in reverse. And so this is our word mark. This is our logo. Okay? So you can see how that wave shape shows up everywhere. So this is custom design. So this is not just a type font. This is a word mark. So Coastline Church, that's our word mark. Okay? And this is our logo. So we have the two, and we wouldn't add a third. So you won't have a ministry logo icon, because that would then compete. Okay? So this is now we're getting into some of the branding stuff. Are there any questions thus far? I kind of threw quite a bit at you. Any thoughts? Okay, still absorbing. It takes time. It grows on you.
And just to quickly, Andy's kind of gave you a broad view. There's going to be a complete style guide, a font pack, font usage that we will disseminate in time. But this is just like higher level.
Right, and just
nitty-gritty of all the details.
right. So just for the video, there is a style guide that will outline all fonts, all usages, do's and don'ts, colors, the way you can use them, all that kind of stuff. And that will come out in due time. This is high level, exactly. Yeah. So this is the wave. And it's amazing how you can take one little shape and you can own it. It's a part of our brand. So now you can see funky backgrounds, you can see funky patterns, you can see cool usage. It's really, really fun and exciting. It gives you a different feel for different ministries, although you're staying, it's like you have a lot of diversity, but you're staying within the guidelines, right? And so these are just some options, actually endless. You can make diamond shapes, you can do all kinds of different patterns. You can do this vertically, you can use alternating colors. You can make the wave pattern, or you can just see the individual shape. And maybe some of you might see the CBC logo coming out a little bit there. So yeah, so it's really, really quite exciting, quite fun. Oliver, is there a way I can just click on, just so I can see what's coming next, or will that then mess up what's going on up here? Okay, then never mind. You can't see what's coming next. And neither can I. Question, yeah.
You can make it an emoji, smiling face.
Yes. No. Actually, if you can think about kids ministry. Think about animating two wave eyes and a wave mouth with a winky face or whatever. You can do so much. These things can fly in, they can pop up, they can explode out of a package with the sound of a horn. They can, you can do so many things with it. You got me? Fireworks, exactly. Yeah. The issue is the branding guide will tell you the things you can't do. And the one thing that we don't want to do is we don't want to lose the shape, so the shapes never touch. They always have a gap. And that maintains the integrity of the shape. And the shape becomes our own.
So that's what's next, if you want to just scroll.
This is next?
Yes.
Okay, great. Great. So we'll give you now a little bit of context about, yes?
How are we going to blend that into West Shore?
Yeah, so it will be identical for West Shore. So right now we'll be Coastline Church, and they'd be Coastline Church West Shore. And so, and since you've asked that, what we're doing here is we're making a determination that we're not going to be a house of brands, where we have 15 different brands for different ministries and different age groups. And we're going to be one brand. We're going to be a branded house versus a house of brands. We won't have all these different brands. We're going to be a branded house. So we're branded as Coastline Church. And so that would be then, we can use the word Coastline without church, specifically when we're talking ministry stuff. So Coastline Youth, Coastline Kids, Coastline Young Adults. Coastline becomes the name, it's our brand, and then the sub comes in. And that's where you kind of would use maybe, oh no, right now we haven't really, this is a different font. There's actually another font that we have as well. So, and that would be a little more playful, maybe a little more kiddish, a little more casual, depending on the usage. But the colors and the patterns and all that, it's going to play out across the organization, and that's going to give us continuity. Sort of like Starbucks. There's a Starbucks in Royal Oak. There's a Starbucks on Fort Street. But they're all Starbucks, and they're all known as Starbucks. You might say, I'm going to meet you at that Starbucks. Location only becomes important when you're gathering there. So like from our website, we'd be sure to identify the areas that you could find Coastline Church. But when you get to Coastline Church West Shore, it feels like Coastline Church Victoria because it's all coastline. Is that helpful? Cool. All right. Here's how you can use it in context. This is another one of our patterns. It's more of like it's a bit like topographical. It's kind of map-ish. We kind of went with that water map, Vancouver Island. There's a few iconic things like that we'll be doing. So here's a way to kind of use it in an invitational way. I mean, this becomes something that is attractive and balancing for our creative team. And the cool thing is like Dreka understands this world so well. And so we're going to have some gatekeepers of the brand. Oliver, Dreka, Joy, Darian. There's going to be keepers of the brand. And all the things that we do have to kind of originate in that space because they know what to do with it, how to use it to its best potential. And so there are some no's that will come. Hey, can we do this? Sorry, we can't. That's not part of keeping true to the brand. And so people have to be gatekeepers of that, okay? And that will keep us in line. So, the address? Yeah, so that we're having an address change as well. Because we're turning our building around and that's becoming our front door, we don't want people to Google us and get back here somewhere. And so we want them to be able to drive into the front parking lot. So our address will change to 845 Caledonia. Yeah, that's seismic, I know. But
all your passwords are now perfect passwords.
yeah,
Your top secret.
1800 Quadra, you can just keep it for yourself. Well, and for all of us. If I ever get into one of your accounts, I'm pretty sure I could figure it out. Yeah, so we've got this type of topographical stuff, which is pretty cool. Kind of creates some water feel around. And third font is this join us in person. It's kind of informal. You can use it in all lowercase. It's a little bit more playful. Okay? Let me give you another example of how the brand can be used in sort of, young adultsy or other context. Here's one. Dude's on his way out of his boat, crossed the rocks to church to worship Jesus. And he's wearing his Anion and his, what boots those are? I don't know. Those are some, what's that? Thursday Boot Company boots. And so you see the logo showing up. You can see the wave in the corner. You see the bleed off of the page on that. So the branding can be really beautiful. And the cool thing is it really fits with our West Coast feel. That was the whole goal, right? Is that we're going to just own where we live. We're called to this island. We're called to reach these people. We're identifying with them. Okay? Next thing is I'll give you sort of just more of like, this is where we kind of get more into the branding stuff. So this is our primary and our supportive palette. So you've got your peachy keen. They're all been named. They're just lovely. Is that the peachy keen color? No, I prefer the patchy sky color for that usage, right? Or offshore blue or burnt wood. And then our supportive palette kind of creates a little more like fun and diversity. And the thing that we'll have to trust like Dreka and Darian on is the use of a light and dark matching color so that we have the contrast needed for putting words on backgrounds. So you can't just decide to use two colors that would actually not work well together, but these colors are meant to go together. What you'll notice down here is these are the three colors that you'll find in the room that you're sitting in. You're going to find your mossy green, you're going to find your Pacific teal, you're going to find your raindrop, that kind of grayish color, maybe a little bit lighter than what you see on the walls here. But the point is that we're already down the road in branding. It's already happening. And the offshore blue kind of back there behind, yeah. So, I mean, you know, and so I wanted you to see this because what we're probably going to do, right now this is what we're working on, is we're probably going to assign a set of colors to specific ministries. Not to campuses, but to ministries. So when we talk about youth, we're going to make sure we have some of this color in there. When we talk about young adults, we're going to make sure this color is prominent. When we're talking about kids, we're going to use these colors. And the nice thing is you can always throw in the peach and the blue because they're like totally primary for us. So anyway, is that working? Any questions on that? Okay, cool. So here's...
Draw attention to the really cute bald cousins over there.
Oh, I know, the little bald cousins. I think babies should always come to... Yeah, there's hair. There's hair. Is this a race? Is this a hair race? Do we have a hair race going on? So, you know, for us guys, putting people in the mix is always super important. It's nice to have sort of, you know, cultural relevance and blue water and pine trees and that sort of thing. But we want to be about people. And so you can see how the brand works with people. The tree is another thing that can be used along with the wave because the tree is basically just chunks of the wave. It's the only place where we've allowed the wave to touch because it's a part of the branding. It fits into our logo. So you can use the tree as well in some of your stuff. So it's cool to see it just working with people, okay? I'll give you another kind of... Dang it! Okay, now erase that from your mind. Okay, so here you go. Even our arrow has the wave in it. So, yeah, that's right. So we're working on signage. And so now what's this going to look like to brand the new front entrance? You already saw it. I know. So
The brown staircase.
yeah. So this here is kind of like it's quite busy. You're like, wow, there's a lot going on there. But if you think about the massive canvas of Bethany Court and then all the rest of our building, and then you're going to see that absolutely that this is going to draw your attention toward where you want to enter. And so you can see our primary wording being used at Coastline and our logo prominent. And then some of those other elements that you've seen already. I wanted to point out the crosswalk. We want to use our waves on the crosswalk. It's kind of over there a little bit. This building will be cladded with this, and these are just directional arrows, right? We can just use our arrows. So pretty exciting. I'll show you a few more signs. That's nighttime. That's what they're going to see from the arena. This was my dream. I wanted the people drive by to go like, oh, someone took that grungy old building and put a church in it. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. Now you can see a street sign. Now these are all concept drawings because we need approval from the city for what we're doing, so things may adjust. But we just want to give you a concept of how we can brand our house, okay? So the rest of the building is, obviously we're doing the bottom phase now, but our goal kind of immediately, as soon as possible, is to take everything that's brown and paint it this color. So that would be the staircase, the upper band, this lower thing, and that part of that wall. And so that way, at least we have a bit of consistency on color when you're coming in the parking lot, okay? This is our concept for our secondary entrance, which would be the Quadra Street entrance. This breezeway is scheduled to be torn down if I can just make sure we have enough money to do it. And so now you see the Vancouver Island being used in that sort of topographical side. You see the waves pushing toward the shore. You see the trees and the welcome. You see our arrow. All of it's there. Those bands across the top, that's just kind of like, makes you feel like you're looking at a map, which is kind of the idea here. Welcome to Coastline. This is the new stairwell kind of right out here. And the reason why we're branding it this way is because what we have said, what we've communicated is this is not a primary entrance. This is not like a welcome to church, come in this door. This is sort of like an emergency exit, like third tier entrance. And so we want to use the opportunity to brand, because there is a door there, but really we want to say like this is part of the picture. There's maybe another entrance for you somewhere else. The Ghost of Glad Tidings is still on the wall. So we're going to see if JS can give us a good power wash, see how clean we can get it. But you know, we'll just have to kind of figure out what we want to do with that. Okay.
So that's more designed so like the city too on this, like the people that live there, they're driving by also notice like, oh, this is a church. And
Yeah.
like it's not necessarily an entrance, but it's a spot where a lot of people walk and live, right?
Yeah. So. Not on this. But on specifics, we'll be doing Coastline Church. And on the exterior of the building specifically, once you've made your way into the building, I don't know that we have to, like we've talked about this, Coastline showing up without church is okay. But inside. I'm just talking about exterior, where we say church at the end of that. I don't think so.
Primary, secondary.
It was more of just a branding for the house, yeah. The next one's pretty cool too, because we wanted people to feel our heart as they enter into this room. We wanted to use this room, and so we worked with our designers to do that, and that's literally right here, right? Yeah, this is the older photo, but that's okay. Basically, what I want you to notice is the use of Coastline without church here. It's interior. Our goal was to kind of pull in the past as well. So you see Glad Tidings Tabernacle up there. And then this old photo down the side is replaced with a photo of our arches from the exterior of this building, an old black and white, with the neon sign that says Jesus Saves on it. And so that will be right there. And if you can kind of picture it looking this way, guys, you'll see the arch going up right there, and then you'll look out and see those arches, right? So it's really kind of cool. It's like, and our goal is not to erase our past. And so pulling in the Glad Tidings into this image that's going to be on this wall for the foreseeable future was really cool. The last thing I'll share with you is just this idea of on the island for the island. Really, with the brand Coastline, we're drawing a larger circle of mission field, and we're actually letting Vancouver Island, the outline of this island, define where we're called. It's not just Victoria. It's not just Greater Victoria. There's a vision for the island. And wherever the coastline touches, we want to have an impact. It doesn't have to have our name on it, but we just want to see God reach this island. And so on the island, for the island, I think if you want to go to West Shore, we would say in the West Shore, for the West Shore. You know, when we end up somewhere else, it will be in Tofino, for Tofino. Anyone feel called? Anyone feel called? Okay. You know what I'm saying? And so on. So that's going to be our heart, our slogan. And since 1923 just pulls us back to our past. All right, so we're running short on time, but now we're back to the logo. That's the end of this, this branding kind of presentation. Are there any questions or thoughts? Will all this be up by August 14th? The answer is no. It's probably going to be rolled out as we can. The goal is to have a lot of stuff in place. So we'll announce things on August the 14th. So I'll tell everybody in the church that there's a transition. We're transitioning to Coastline. And then, yeah, there'll be a video sermon that will include that announcement. I'll probably use the TV. And then I will preach in person in Victoria. but everywhere else will get the video. So everybody gets the information in the same moments, 9 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then on through the day.